Welcome back, everybody, to EGFC. My name is Keelan Miles on the mic with PBE, and we are here for week 12 of the EGF Super Smash Bros. Ultimate Series with Fairfield University taking on Manhattan College.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited to see this. Both of these are colleges that I'm pretty sure I casted last week at the official EGF2 stream, so stream 3. But it's good to see them on the main stream for once, and that's very exciting to see because this is sort of the stream that you'll also get more publicity on in general. So they both get their chance to really show their stuff for once.
Yeah, and Manhattan College, honestly, was looking pretty good last week. They brought out Sansma Man to start out, I believe, that time. And Manhattan, they're pretty low in the rankings, so I'm not really sure what happened over winter break, but they pulled themselves together, and they got a pretty clean win over, I think, Canisius. And it's not like, again, they're not upsetting like the top echelon, but overall, they're just looking very solid in throughout the entire roster, and I'm excited to see where that new stability takes them throughout this second split.
Oh, absolutely. It's very exciting to see, and it does seem like they are starting to get into the game here. What's your prediction on how this is going to go?
I mean, Sam in general has a very strong punish game, and if you're able to just stop Jerry from getting any resources like we see here and just take the stock, why not? 8% only on the board. Jerry down a clean stock, and now you're caught in the nair. That platform pressure, it's going to be tough, but the super armor gets you through that grab.
Yeah, and this is going to be really difficult for Jerry here, losing a stock already. But I mean, if there's any character that can sort of just rob you of a stock instantly, it is Steve. And we saw the starter there, but it wasn't quite enough to actually get anything going, unfortunately. But they have the right idea.
Yeah, they certainly do, but the issue is Sam gets a hit and it's 40% minimum, maybe a kill. Jerry gets a hit, you're not getting much more than maybe 2 jabs, but that up smash, ooh, that's brutal, the double kick.
Yeah, and this is going to be really difficult here for Jerry now because this is just giving Sam so much momentum to work off of. And not only that, he's feeling himself for sure. He's going to be going for some stuff that's absolutely crazy. He might just actually go for those greedy plays that you don't normally go for if you have that even stocks, but when you have a 2-stock lead, you're just like, okay, I have some room to really try some new stuff out.
Yeah, I mean, I saw a jab grab in there earlier, the hard up smash read, and the falcon kick. Man, my bingo card's almost filled out, PBE, as now another up smash to just try and get an early stock, stuffing out, building right in front of them. You can't do that in front of Falcon, come on. As they're able to just barely avoid that, getting the F smash whip into a tech chase, but even then, how do you finish them off right here? Maybe getting stage spike? No, missing it. Up smash? No, not yet either.
Yeah, this is going to be really difficult for Jerry here. Oh, but a down smash at the ledge will cover that. That was really smart because that also covers get up attack and ledge roll. So it really only left the option to jump, and unfortunately for Sam, they didn't guess right, but this is a disadvantage right now, and it's really difficult against Captain Falcon because this character just has such a strong advantage state.
Certainly does, is there. Ooh, the jabs on shield, that's some nice pressure. They're able to get a little string going. You've got Falcon at ledge, no jump. Big opportunity, but they missed the opportunity to down tilt, and the Falcon kick's just gonna steal the stock right out from under their nose right there. Sam putting 2 points on the board for Manhattan College.
And that was a very strong start for this team here, because that's exactly what you want in these sort of matches. You want that strong start because it really riles up the rest of your team going, okay, we got this, we're ready. And it also sort of hurts the other team's mental a little bit, thinking, oh, might not do so hot this time. So it's all about sort of getting that strong start, leaving a good first impression.
Yeah, and as you can see, oof. They just never stop being bloodthirsty. They catch every landing. They take every opening they get right there. And obviously, Jerry has given them a couple on a silver platter, but for the most part, Sam is just right on top of them. Jerry, especially online, does not have time to react to this burst option as they're going to be going over to the Terry.
Oh, wow. So the Terry, that's definitely a very different character here. Steve being one that has a lot of very strong tools and very hard to exploit recover. Terry sort of being the opposite, having very good combos and very good burst options, sort of like Steve, but disadvantage is much harder to play in with Terry, and that's sort of the issue because Sam sort of just forced disadvantage over and over again, and you can't really get out of it as easily with this character switch.
Yeah, and the only real opening Jerry is getting is nairs out of hit stun, these counter hits, but that's not going to be effective forever. Jerry's got to find a bigger opening. Oh, goes for it there. The parry right there into a little bit of a punish, but no, they're able to get the shield out just in time.
And that was interesting because usually after... Oh, yeah, that's exactly where it is. So the down tilt doesn't really start too much at this percent anymore, except for when you have go, in which case you can go for that jab, Buster Wolf after a down tilt. It pretty much guarantees it unless your opponent is like a monster on the SDI. Ooh.
Now you've got him at ledge. They're able to land with go. Maybe an opportunity. Now you've got Falcon in the air, but they whiff that side beat. Now it's your turn to try and get back to stage. Ooh, nice spacing on that up B though.
This does look like a little bit of unfamiliarity for Sam here, but also a bit of unfamiliarity for Jerry because it doesn't look like Jerry has these combos optimized, doesn't quite have the inputs optimized either, which you do need to get as much damage as possible.
Ooh, but they do have the confirms a little bit optimized. That's a good sign right there, especially with Falcon rising in percent. But speaking of that percent, it's rising on you as well. 44 just from that little string, and the Falcon kick is another opener. On the ledge, they go for the side B again. That's becoming a little bit of a habit, but I mean, it's working out so far. Sam hasn't found a way to get around it. They're able to grab that down tilt.
Yeah, it's very difficult to get around, as Captain Falcon, get around Burn Knuckle at ledge, because Burn Knuckle at ledge, especially the true input, which Jerry is doing, is the one that is actually invincible on the hand. And Captain Falcon doesn't really have any disjointed hitboxes.
Yeah, I can see how that would be tough, as you're not really able to deal with the shield pressure that much so far yet. They got a couple shield grabs earlier, but at this point, Jerry's spacing around it in a very overcommittal recovery right there. They thought they had Jerry's recovery on lock, and now Jerry has center stage, is pushing you towards the edge, and they have go online, but they missed that opportunity. Now Sam has another lease on life.
I think he's just sort of coming up with combos on the fly right now, because there was that was fantastic DI there. So, and also, actually, no, it's that it was too late of a percent. So, down tilt, forward tilt, Buster Wolf is a combo that will land if your opponent does not DI up, and it hits below a certain percent. And it looked like it was too high of a percent, and that Sam was sent too far forward. And that's where it sort of hurts, because unless Jerry can take this stock as soon as possible, that means that Sam will sort of be out of a lot of combo ranges for a lot of Terry's good damage options.
Commendable defense, though, from Jerry thus far. 2 of the kills have been from back throw, from Falcon. That's not exactly what you want to be seeing, especially after Sam's explosive start, as Jerry evens up the stocks, evens up the percents, more or less. An opening, though, from Sam. A little bit of percent, but the narrative hits and deters them again.
And there's so many damage opportunities that Jerry's missing here. Like the jab power dunk is a staple in Terry's entire kit, and it's pretty easy to land too. So it's going to be interesting to see how he can play without this okay, there we go. Essential combo here if you want to play as Terry. And whoa, that was a huge attempt at a read there, but unfortunately, Sam was not any literature this time.
Man, not at all. As now Sam, ooh, the burning knuckle once again. It looked like they tried to grab it right there, but like you said, with the true input, that's invincible on the hand, and you're able to get right around that. Jerry on the Terry counterpick is able to even things up. That
was really interesting. I'm surprised this worked. Hopefully Jerry can like pick up some more of Terry's kit, because it's looking like it's a bit of like missing a few of those essential things, especially online, that the auto cancel power dunk, which you get off of a Tiger Knee input, is a huge part of the online Terry arsenal, because it is +1 on block. But ooh, man, look at that. The invincible hand is just, it's so helpful in this matchup, because Captain Falcon doesn't really have any disjoints.
Yeah, and now I understand why Jerry was leaning so heavily on it. As you can see, it paid dividends there. Now it's up to Sam to adapt around that spacing tool that Jerry was utilizing. But once again, they get stuffed out. Jerry's starting to get a read on this Falcons, well, kind of headlong approaches.
And I think as long as, so in terms of what Sam needs to get working here, as long as Sam can potentially just bait and punish out here, because so Sam has been going for that burn knuckle a lot. It's not very safe on shield. So if Sam can play a bit more patiently, shield a lot more, then on stage, Sam will pretty much win every interaction. And I mean, we've been seeing here only 38% on the board for Jerry. So this is a lot harder for Jerry this game than last time.
It really is. The Nair has been a great tool for Sam this time. Gets the Nair chains off again. No, good air dodge in, but now tech situation covers the spot dodge with the Falcon kick too. Nice awareness right there. And the up air into knee. Sam's out of here, obliterated. It looks like Sam is mad this time.
And Sam was completely unanswered that stock as well. Stayed at 38% the entire time. So this shows that Sam has a very good idea of how Jerry wants to play this out. And as long as Jerry doesn't make any major adjustments here, it will probably go into Sam's favor. But I mean, Jerry definitely needs those adjustments. But I mean, burn knuckle always is solid as an option, but got to be careful on how much you use that, because eventually it will get punished if your opponent is keeping aware of it.
And these strings are being traded 1 for 1 right now, as Sam just gets hit at a hit stun, and then all of a sudden they're taking the exact same amount of percent. Oh, that short hop Nair has been such a great tool for just stuffing out this Falcon. But there's the down throw right here. Another knee. No, good DI in.
And this is getting really tough for both of these players, because Go is now active, but also the perfect. So Terry does not snap to ledge. So because of that, a very well-timed, we saw throughout that game, and actually throughout the last game as well, that Sam was going for those spikes, trying to land them, but they kept getting punished. And we finally saw it at the very end of the set come through. And because of that, Sam was able to actually get that kill. There's other ways as well. In addition to just going for the down air, you could go for the up tilt at ledge. That has a potential to catch Terry when trying to recover, because you have to space it perfectly with Terry in order to even get close to snapping the ledge, or just to be hard to punish. So very good idea from Sam, and it was good to see that it actually started to work for once.
Yeah, and although some mix-ups would have been appreciated, like you said, there's something satisfying about finishing it off with the stomp. I mean, come on. It's tradition at this point. As, yeah, here we go. They've been going for it, like you said, all game. I mean, I'm not going to say it's easy to punish Terry's recovery, but a lot of people don't really struggle with it. Like, it is invincible for part of it, right?
It's invincible, like, it alternates between invincible and not invincible, but at the end, you do not snap to ledge, and you are not invincible at the end either. So it becomes extremely easy. So where it's normally a 2-frame window for Terry, it's a lot more. So you're able to pretty much try whatever you want.
Yeah, so, I mean, creativity right there. And Falcon, well, no shortage of creativity in that character. As we saw, a lot of the confirms were really coming out in that third game. And it's not, like, true. Like, the up air and a knee, if I'm remembering correctly, that's not really true except at very small percent windows, but it's a DI mix-up. If they're trying to escape your combo one way, you just change it up to finish it off early with the knee.
Yes, exactly. So it really becomes sort of this catch-22, and also becomes very, very scary as well as the person getting hit with an up air from Captain Falcon, because it's like, do I think it's worth it, or did I forget and get hit by the knee and get blown up? Because it's really just painful regardless of if you get kneed or not.
Yeah, like, just having a strong option in the middle of your combo is so brutal. Like, when you're getting hit by, like, a Mario ladder, you know generally, okay, I need to get away from that middle center platform. With Falcon, though, it's just an infinite mix-up, because you're like, what if I air dodge too early and they're ready for it? Or what if I air dodge late and they're ready for it? Like, it's just a constant mind game every time you get put in disadvantage by this character. So even I admire Jerry for being able to keep it close, for being able to play really good defense that second game, trip up the Falcon, but ultimately Sam's punish game was just a little too clean.
Yeah, and that's sort of the like, especially at this level, that's sort of how you have to play against Terry. You have to punish it because and then like take advantage of when you get that punish, because it's not just about okay, wait for it, but it's also, you're because it's not just bait, it's bait and punish. And when you're getting those like wins in neutral interactions, you have to be able to capitalize on it, because if Terry gets to 100%, it's pretty much playing as a different character. You're playing as a character that can blow you up at pretty much whenever.
Yeah, I mean, Terry can blow you up at like any like the amount of times I've seen Terry hit a down tilt at ledge and kill someone at like 40 is terrifying. And against a character like Falcon, you're not going to see that quite as often, because even though the recovery is super exploitable, not many people go for the 2-frame. However, there's just so much versatility with this character, and we saw some good pressure early on, but eventually the spacing, I think it was just less Jerry messing up the spacing and more Sam being more in their face, so they couldn't really space those down tilts correctly.
Yeah, and generally the down tilt it's good to get like as a starter, especially at those low percents, but you have to be able to know more starters than just the down tilt, or else you become very predictable in your neutral.
Yeah, like they're almost playing Terry like people play Little Mac, where you've got like 3 good buttons and they're really good and you're using them all the time, and it's like the down tilt, the burning knuckle, and power geyser. Like, you're not really getting much more than that though, and even though they're good tools, if they're all you're using, you're just gonna get blown up.
Yes, exactly, because then people can sort of figure out a line of how you're gonna, because like say a power geyser, it's like in that way, down tilt it's like that, and then a burn knuckle is like that. You're like, okay, well, if I just go around that, maybe go directly above, they're not really going to do anything. We didn't see a power geyser a single time though from Jerry. We did see though quite a bit of the rising tackle, attempting to just read with it, and with that it sort of opens up this diagonal in the line of play of how you want to actually approach.
Yeah, I mean, ooh, actually, it does look like we are getting into the next game, and it's going to be Milk coming in. I did see a DDD from Manhattan last week. I have to assume this is a different DDD, a different tag. Meanwhile, Near Infinite on the PT.
Oh, wow. Okay, so it'll be interesting to see, because Squirtle is a character that, has a lot of those great neutral tools, a lot of very good combo options, but DDD is just so heavy that while you can get a lot of damage, you have to really get, like, the moment you're done with those combo percents, you really want to just switch out, because it's just so much easier to kill with these other characters.
Yeah, you're out of that sort of like counter hit range though on DDD, so that's good at least. You can go to playing the neutral game with the Razor Leaf, pressuring the shield right there to get an opening. Over 100% already, and you've got the ledge trap going strong so far. The Gordo, you're not even gonna mess with that. Just keep pressuring with the Razor Leafs until you're sure your up air, your down air, whatever you want to use will kill.
Oh, wait, what? Did that hit and just
super armor, baby? Woo! Super armor. You'd love to see it.
That was, and this is max rage. This is max rage on DDD. That's terrifying, because that's like a single down tilt away from a kill on Ivysaur. Because Ivysaur, okay, never mind, 0% again.
I really think Near Infinite is playing this objectively correct, just using the Razor Leaf to invalidate DDD once you get them out of like counter hit percent, as they're trying to do with Squirtle right now, weaving in and out of these defensive tools until they get them to about 40. The down air is a nice opening, just laddering them right across the stage right there, horizontal, and they blow them away too. Yeah, you're just barely able. No!
Oh!
Were they pushed away with Gordo? I don't know, but either way, the drift back is going to destroy Milk, and now they're off stage again?
Yeah, Milk just got absolutely just terrified there, thinking, oh no, I can't go too close or else I'll get hit with like a forward smash. But they didn't think, oh, I could probably survive a forward smash at this percent.
Yeah, and now, because of that little mistake, look at this, 65% already, and Near Infinite, they're feeling themselves. They don't even want to go to the Ivysaur. They just want to play this out.
Exactly. I mean, when you're running this hot right now, you don't need to play it out. You could just try and win it with Squirtle here, but I mean, switching to Ivysaur because it's like, okay, enough play time. It's time to go for, you know, the kill here, especially because, I mean, 111%. This is a fantastic opportunity to get something going here. A 3-stock would be exactly what Fairfield needs.
Yeah, getting a nice reset right here is near infinite. Pressuring with these Razor Leaves. Make sure you can't go for that Gordo, because that slow lingering projectile will completely beat out Gordo every day of the week. One move from Ivysaur could kill right now, and they go over to the Charizard. Now everything will kill, and that's Forward Smash on Shield, gonna go unpunished.
This is actually the first time we've seen Charizard this game, so this should be interesting to see how good Near Infinite's Charizard is.
Oh, but you don't need to be that good to know that you've got one of the best up smashes out of shield in the game. You do one unsafe thing on that Dragon Shield, you know you're going to get slashed. And because of that, there is the 3-stock that Fairfield needed.
Yes, this is fantastic for Fairfield now, because that means that Fairfield University now has a whopping 4 points here. That means that if they win this set without dropping this next game, then they actually take the lead, which is exactly what you want, because, I mean, 7-6 after the first, and then the second set really helps out with your score, because it also really shows, okay, we didn't get intimidated by losing that first set.
Yeah, not at all. As well, they're just going right back into it, running it back to PS2 right here. And already you can see Milk is trying to get more in this Squirtle's face, build up this low % damage, and playing a lot around the shield.
And it's going to on Milk here to be able to adjust to Near Infinite's play, because at the moment, Near Infinite's sort of just running all over Milk at the moment. And that's not what Manhattan wants.
Not at all. Yuppie evens out the neutral just a tad. Retaking center stage, and they're able to get the inhale right there, but not following it up with the up tilt or anything like that. The Gordo, though, a nice counter hit. Make sure that Near Infinite's not going to get any more damage. They're going over to the Ivysaur to try and invalidate that neutral tool.
And okay, so this is Milk actually getting something going here, especially because this is a lot harder now because of that Ivysaur being a lot bigger of a body than Squirtle, but not that much heavier. So this gives Milk the opportunity to, you know, get that kill as soon as possible.
Yeah, as you try to get back to stage, but Milk is doing a better job throwing out these Gordos in a place where the Razor Leaf isn't going to cover it. They've been going for a lot of horizontal Gordos, and those are hit back, but throwing them high puts them right over the leaf. As they go for dash check, it's not going to hit. You have them off stage again.
And
this is scary right near.
This
The
is
Charizard, you know you can't do it the same way the last game ended. As, yeah, they're just going to stick it out on the Charizard right now.
Yeah, smart. And you can't go for the Gordo when the Flame Breath is out for the Flamethrower, because Flamethrower will just knock it back immediately because it's already out.
Yeah, as you just saw there, Flame Breath again, racking on some damage, 55% already. Ooh, that spot dodge, that scared me for a second, but DDD didn't really have the fast option to punish afterwards. Grabbing again, Gordo being thrown off stage, but a nice low recovery though. No, not snapping to ledge, straight into the Grand Slam right there.
And this is where it's going to be up to Milk to be able to make this comeback, because this is a perfect opportunity here. If you can get, you know, some good damage on Squirtle, then you can afford to get that really early kill. Oh, no. Okay, still have the jump. Oh, that was interesting, but didn't quite pay off.
Yeah, at this point, I mean, Near Infinite is just better charactering DDD at times. Even though Milk has shown some adaptations, now we get in as they get some nice damage in there, covering that landing, and now you're trying to mix up your fastball timing. Still, though, DDD just doesn't have the air drift to position over Ivysaur in any meaningful way.
Absolutely. It's really hard for DDD in this matchup in general, especially because, yeah, you could just go for the Pokemon switch, and that hurts because it's not quite a true combo to try and land into that up air, and that really just means that you're super minus and gives the opponent a perfect opportunity to just whiff punish you, and now this momentum is all on Near Infinite's side.
Yeah, a couple well-timed get-ups and such to get around the ledge trapping, but they jump right into the Gordo that time. Milk leaning heavily into that tool, but they don't get the Gordo out in time that time. Because of that, it's gonna let Near Infinite back onto stage. Now it's their turn to try and get off the ledge. They avoid the Nair with a Nair of their own.
And Milk is panicking.
Ooh!
Not enough.
Skadoosh, but they're still alive!
Wait, what?
Near
What?
Infinite, they put the controller down!
I think they thought they killed that, and it didn't work. But now, Milk was panicking, but this is the perfect time to calm down. But I don't know. 177. This is really hard for Milk right now. But Max Rage is a thing here. So if there is a time to really come in clutch,
You're getting the hard read percent. They've gone for this charged hammer at ledge a lot of the time. The forward smash, a big commitment right there. That shield's getting awful low, though. You've got to commit to an option. Now Charizard's out to play again. This is an opportunity for the forward tilt. Oh, just as it looked like Milk was mounting a comeback, Near Infinite shuts them down with the tail. And that'll be Near Infinite tying things up, I believe, between Fairfield and Manhattan.
Yeah, it was really hard for Milk there, especially because Near Infinite just had so much control, and it was sort of forcing Milk into these panic situations. Like we saw so many times, especially at the tail end there, right before Near Infinite SD'd, that they were just going for the Gordo, even though the Gordo was still on the screen, for example, and just, you know, going for it, even though you know it won't work, just pretty much just pressing buttons at that point, and it really just shows how rattled they had become.
Yeah, rattled is the right word indeed, because they had a couple adaptations, but the thing is, Near Infinite has so many tools that when you adapt to, say, the Razor Leaf in neutral, then Near Infinite can just stop using it, yeah? Okay, you get that side B, the Gordo knocks you out of it, and you're just falling. Yeah, that was a put your controller down moment. That was a premature pop-off if I've ever seen one.
Yeah, just up B. Come on. You...
Happens to the best of us.
Yeah, it happens to all of us. You know, sometimes we pop off a little too early, and then they're like, no, game's not over, man. I'm like, okay.
And the fact that the game wasn't over in that scenario in particular, I mean, you were getting comeback. They were one good read away from winning that. I was ready to see the charge hammer at ledge hit for the first time. That wasn't a mistake from them. Like, that charge hammer, I've seen that obliterate some really good players. Like, some ranked players in Philly have gotten obliterated on Bryce's hammer a couple times. Like, it's always a sight to see.
Interesting. Okay. I know at least against that Flare Blitz, I've gotten obliterated. I got obliterated by Beast, the Charizard, the Pokemon trainer player, this past weekend on stream.
Ooh.
So
that is also something that happens to the best of us. Pokemon trainer, a good demonstration of, like, people talk about, oh yeah, no, you're just top tier privilege them. That was a very good example. Did you see when they were just using the Razor Leaf in game 1 and beating DDD using the Gordo against them, and DDD couldn't approach because they're too slow, couldn't approach with the Gordo because the Razor Leaf invalidated it. They literally better charactered them.
Yeah. That's sort of what happens sometimes.
I mean, and, like, that's the kind of thing, it's like, what do I do as King DDD to beat Palutena? I'm really struggling. Switch characters. Like, sometimes that is the best option. I mean, DDD has proven the ability to get some massive upsets in past, especially post-quarantine, when all the DVDs, like, or the DDDs leveled up in the Hyperbolic Time Chamber. Now they're out swinging. However, even with their level up, it is still kind of tough when people just go, okay, I'm not even going to play your game. I'm not even going to be in the same game as you. You're just, have fun playing my minigame for the now.
Yeah, oh my goodness. Yeah, you're sort of just stuck sometimes. It's very unfortunate. Because, I mean, like, that, especially, like, you mentioned Palutena. Sometimes the option against Palutena, just switch characters, you know, just play a different character or cry. Because, I mean, at that point, just hold the L.
Yes. That L almost was unheld, but now we're looking to get into whoever goes next. Just a little button check coming out. Okay, it's going to be Tino's coming in, the captain from Fairfield, to the best of my knowledge. You've been seeing them for a while. What are you thinking of their gameplay?
So Tino is definitely a solid player. I think it's a good pick to put the captain in third right here, especially because Fairfield has managed to get this momentum going, that if they can keep it going, start to get, a bit of a lead, because right now it's a 1-point lead, then that would be really helpful for Fairfield here, especially because that means that Manhattan would be forced to win the next 2 sets after this one.
Very true, but Manhattan College putting in Sansma Man, who, honestly, I mean, no offense to them, I didn't really recall, what their performance was. I knew they were switching around characters, but they seemed pretty hard stuck on the Aegis after the break, and who can blame them? Their Aegis was looking clean. I mean, it's not like they're hitting, the craziest strings, but they're just hitting strings. And those strings lead into more strings. And those strings give you 6 different options to cover whatever option they pick in the air.
Yeah, this dude's doing strings. And, sometimes that just sort of works.
It just works. They went to the hero. Okay. I've got no idea.
Sansma Man did bring out the hero last week, I'm pretty sure. So, sort of going with that, choosing that playstyle, it's a bit more of a zoner character. Your close range options are very slow, but I mean, now that you've got the reflector out, the bounce, that really helps a lot, because if they throw banana at you, bounces back. If they peanut you, bounces back. And that's really helpful against Diddy Kong, because those are 2 pretty big, especially the banana is a huge part of your what?
Above 100%, that thwack is guaranteed, my friend, as you're able to wipe out that monkey. And now, 150? Oh, no. Okay, roll the dice. Have fun.
It's an above 50% chance, though, of getting it at 100. So you are definitely at a pretty good chance of hitting it, especially because it counts not just your percent, but your opponent's percent combined in terms of calculating how good it is to see that. But man, that's quite a way to start that game, and Sansma Man must be feeling on top of the world landing that, because that's a very hard move to even hit, not even considering if it will actually kill.
Yeah, they're throwing out the thwack and whack right here, but the Accelerado online means the burst option from Sansma Man is just too much for Tino's to really commit to anything too much. And again, I haven't seen the banana once. They're just trying to throw hands with this hero, and getting caught by the down smash right there is more than enough to send you off the side. Accelerado again.
And this is looking really good for Sansma Man right now, especially because the Accelerado just made you get back to stage for free. Didn't even have to interact, and now this is just all Sansma Man's momentum here. If we see another 3 stock from Fairfield, that would be insane.
Ooh, it's going to be very tough for Fairfield to come back from this. You just smacked the magic burst right out of them, saying, I'm not really sure about that.
Oh my god. Ooh. The heal actually came in clutch there, because it actually helped survive. And a crit! A crit? Oh my god! Sansma Man, you monster!
You love to see it. You love to see it, but you go for enough down smash coverage like that, you're able to get it eventually. I mean, come on.
But still.
Oh, they went for the barrel. Yeah.
Just seeing, you're spot dodging? Let me just down smash, just nothing too serious, just a casual crit and
covering. But the down smash was the right option right there, covering roll behind and staying right there. Plus, again, with the random opportunity for a crit. Oh, that's right inside the thwack hitbox. I was shocked. I see why you're so shocked.
That barely hit, and it still, it not only barely hit, but it also got the kill, which is just to start the game too is just crazy.
Yes. Ooh. Yeah, that down smash, it's so meaty, and it's a fast option too. It's hero's fastest smash attack, and I mean, it can be a little laggy for sure, but it's a very generic ultimate down smash. Covers your roll, covers whatever you want it to cover. I don't blame them for throwing that out all the time, especially as they were playing a very grounded hero. Especially that first stock, it really felt like the ground was their turf.
Yeah, it really was, especially because we saw at the very start, putting that bounce up made it so that it's sort of set a tone for the rest of it as well, of the rest of that game. You know, every single time bounces out, it becomes a lot harder for Diddy Kong's neutral tools, especially that banana, which is how you get a lot of your confirms going. It really becomes just so difficult, and it looks like they've actually, Tino's has switched, so they're bringing out their, what's it called? They're bringing out the Joker, which I actually don't know if I've ever seen Tino's bring out the Joker before. But now that Manhattan does have this 3-stock on the board, that makes it so that they have that lead again and puts the momentum back in their favor.
Yeah. Ooh. Arsene gonna cover the ledge right there, and dipping just a tiny bit too low right there. Sans my man caught out, and now you're down a stock against this Joker. Accelerado right off the bat though, and a Sizz to give you stage control. And that's a pretty good bit of mileage right there. Ooh, playing her into this platform, a little backflip from Joker, able to get Tino's out of harm's way.
And I'm really liking this ledge trapping from Sans my man, you know, going for a lot of those very big projectiles, ones that it's not very high committal outside of the MP cost, and it's very big, so there's a good chance it can hit. It's very smart to, because you're playing a safe game, and against Joker you kind of do have to play a safe game, because this character is really good.
I'll say, as they're playing a lot around these full hops, but not even a chance to throw it out there. Is the EHA going to be called out with a full hop of their own? Sans my man evens up the stocks right now, and the percent too, but Arsene's now out to play.
Yeah, Dad's back in. Oh no, gotta tech those.
Yeah, but we don't sometimes. Hey, it's online, you can excuse them, as the forward tilt is going to be caught there. Ooh, that's a nice extension with the down air. Unfortunately not able to follow up. Oh, you saw him hover over that magic burst, but no. Wise spell making decisions from Sans my man, as Tino's looking to dip very low, calling out that low recovery with the down air. Tino's has pretty much had 100% accuracy with those.
And now this evens up the score again, so it's 9-9. Whoever takes the lead is literally just decided by this game, this final game. And both of these players are running pretty hot right now. Sans my man might have to make a character switch, because remember how we mentioned earlier that Hero has those very slow options for close range? Well, Joker is sort of the opposite. Joker is super fast in terms of frame data, and that's really painful in this matchup, because you know, every single time you want to try and box them out, you just get stuffed out with something like a forward tilt, a jab. Really just anything Joker has will just stuff you out, because nothing Hero has armor.
And a lot of Hero's stuff isn't true combos either. It's a lot of just neutral wins with heavy reward. And we could see that there, just using the down B out of hit stun a couple of replays ago. I mean, again, pulling out that jump as well. I mean, Joker is kind of floaty enough to just hover out there with Arsene.
Yeah, it really just was a very rough matchup. Might have to go for something a little different, maybe go for a different approach. But it looked like Sans my man was going for generally a lot of the right options in this matchup, but that Tino sort of just knew the matchup pretty well, and that's kind of devastating if you're a Hero player. If your opponent knows the matchup, everything becomes harder.
Yes, we're able to see that on the Joker there. I'm not sure if we're getting any sort of switches. No. I feel like it was even up until that one big reversal off of the early Arsene. So obviously, Sans my man wants to play this out. They're feeling good about this Hero right now, and they're able to catch up the jumps as well. No techs at all from Tino's to start out.
And so Town does actually seem like an interesting pick here. I think I like it though, because Town, you know, has those very short sides. It's pretty much, if you're getting hit at the ledge on Town, that's between you and God, to say the least. And oh my, woo, 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 woo. That's exactly what Sans my man needed to sort of clear the memory of what happened that last game. And this is almost a, yeah, this is a full stock lead now. Oh my, what? edge guarding Joker? Since when?
With Uppy, that big lingering hitbox, Tino's, they've been snapping right to ledge every time, which isn't a bad habit to have. As Sandsman does show, it can be exploited though, and you take away EHA from Joker's kit as well with the bounce. Now the snooze at ledge, you're gonna get them right where you want them. Tino's barely even tries to mash. They don't know. They don't care. With only 24%, Sandsman demolishes Tino's.
That's between you and God right there. Just exactly what I said at the very start of this game. If you get hit on the ledge at town, that is between you and God. And also, a big thing of this entire game plan, even though we saw a lot of those big moments, was that Sandsman was throwing a lot more, which is very big. We saw it right there. Every single time that Tino's went for the Rebels guard, then Sandsman would just run up, grab, throw, because it really helps because you're very punishable on that for getting grabbed, and you can get a lot off of a grab with Hero.
Oh, yeah, you sure can. I mean, you can't get a lot of combos, but the thing is, grabs that throw you off stage like that, and again, I just love Hero's forward throw, just like throwing you over the shoulder. However, the grab, the throw, it just gives you an opportunity to make a mistake, you know? And Hero pays so well when you have an opportunity to make a mistake. I mean, truly fantastic stuff right there. You love to see it. Well, maybe not if you're T-Knowles. That is, after keeping it so like even-ish to start out, that's like, it's hard to watch that happen to yourself. And I felt like towards the end, it was just sort of like, I've got to make up this deficit. I've got to do something.
Yeah, it really was just like, ooh. You know, just like in that previous game, we saw, or not in the previous game, in the previous set, a lot of panicking at that very end there. And that's sort of like the moment you start panicking is the moment you lose. Because, like, even though the panic is completely justified, it also means that you're more likely to make a mistake. And when you make a mistake, that's sort of on you.
Yeah, it sure is. Well, you see a lot of those mistakes in this level of play, and sometimes it's looking a little sloppy. So it's nice to see some very, very hard punishes across the board. I mean, Tino's had some good ones, like calling out early jumps with those down airs. Again, whether it's at low percents coming off of ledge, I mean, they were calling out the down air, and that just puts you in a terrible position just getting down aired by Joker. Or, I mean, we saw that amazing spike.
Yeah. I mean, we just saw, like, it was pretty much back and forth in terms of, like, who was in control of the game. Like, complete control from Sandsman game 1. Game 2, that was all T-Knowles. In game 3, Sandsman just goes, okay, hold my beer. Just let me just get something going here. Let me 3-stock you real quick. I know you're the captain, but I don't care.
Under 20, like 24%. 24%. Like, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Just some truly nice stuff there from both players, but in the end, like, it's always tough to be like, okay, close set when it ends in that fashion. And I do think it comes back to getting a hard read. A lot of people like to say like, oh, I'm gathering data when I'm losing to you. But the card callouts with all those grabs really does make me feel like Sandsman was gathering data all throughout that second game. Even if it wasn't in the game, they sat down between matches and they're like, okay, hold on.
Yeah.
That was a lot of Rebels guard.
And I know that at least, so I know some people who know people that go to or are on the Manhattan College team. And so Manhattan College does have some grinders, if I remember correctly. So like some people that really grind those matchups or very analytical types. And I mean, we sort of saw there that analytical type because I'm pretty sure they were all just sort of playing together in that same room. So, you know, one of those analytical types might have been like, okay, you were doing this wrong here. Choose this stage, choose town. You're going to kill off the side super early and then just don't let them play. Just don't let them play.
Not in the slightest right there. As it looks like we are finally getting back in. A little bit of a Well, like you said, some really good grinders at Manhattan College, whether they're grinding those friendlies, grinding analysis, grinding Elite Smash. They're all out there grinding, and they're finally done grinding, though, coming down off of the mountain to show off those Elite Smash skills. We have Cross coming in here. If I remember correctly, Cross was on the Robin previously, and they had, I mean, they've got the tech, they got the combos, they got the arc fire ladders, so it's always nice to see another good Robin here in the EGFC. There are quite a few of them, to be honest.
Yeah, a few too many Robins, if you ask me. Yeah. But they should be interesting to see. You know, Robin's always one of those characters that's terrifying to go against just because it has such a vast array of like good options. You know, you got obviously the arc fire, which just gives you so many combos. You got your Levin sword, which is just a fantastic neutral tool. You know, it's just so big. The neutral air on Levin sword is gigantic, and it hurts to get hit by.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's terrifying.
The thing about the Levin sword that I think goes really underappreciated is the fact that at low percents, everything is safe on hit. Like, all of their moves. Like, just the fact that it's an aerial smash attack means that you're not going to be called out for just any sort of sloppy move. Like, a lot of characters, if you don't go in with the right combo starter, then you're going to get super hard punished. Robin can sort of play that spacing game even when you are at 0%.
Yeah, and that's sort of like... Also, speaking of being at 0%, Robin also has the Nosferatu, which you're not normally going to land, but the moment you start getting good reads on your opponent, the Nosferatu will just hit way more often because you really start to, you know, get in their head. Like, it hits the first time, you're like, oh god, they just healed, and I got command grabbed. You get hit by it again because you're too worried about it. You get hit a third time, you get hit a fourth time with it, and before you know it, they've healed like 20% already, and it's really just a fantastic tool for like getting into your opponent's like mentality, just sort of messing with them.
Yeah, as now, okay, let's see who is coming in for Fairfield. I'm sorry, did I miss that right there? Okay. So we're getting the button check finish up now, and it's looking like. Okay. There was... Okay, I appreciate everyone's patience for everyone. But yeah, it is going to be Nani coming in, who I actually have not seen yet this year.
Interesting.
Nightfall.
Oh, okay, Nightfall. I think I've seen Nightfall play before. I'm trying to remember what character, but I'm pretty sure they won last week.
Well, if they won, then Fairfield has, I mean, obviously it's trying to plan to keep this close. I mean, it seems to be a little bit more of a reactive playstyle. Some teams, like, I'd say Hawaii's very good with building a lead and making the players sweat, as they are going to the Sephiroth right here.
Oh, yes. Now I remember, yes. This is the Sephiroth that we saw, or at least I saw last week, and definitely had a lot of love for that Shadow Flare. You know, Shadow Flare is such a fantastic tool because it pretty much is an assist. You're putting an assist in a game with, like, that's not a tag fighter, and that's pretty wild, honestly.
Yes. It's also incredibly safe, as that's their main poking tool at the moment. But Nightfall really hasn't been able to get in thus far. The Levin sword gonna break right there, but they're charging up the Thunder. Ooh, Cross, they get the absorb too. Oh yeah, give me that life force, because now, take a look at this, 121%, pretty much unanswered. You didn't even need to do that, but you wanted to get the disrespect right there, finish off Nightfall.
And I love that you mentioned getting that Nosferatu, because the Nosferatu is not just good for being, you know, that command grab and absorb. It also just has the same value of like hitting a command grab on your opponent in general, which is like, it just puts that fear into your opponent's head. And that's huge. You know, making your opponent afraid is such an important thing in any competitive game.
And you can see Nightfall afraid to even leave center stage right here, the place where they can actually react to projectiles and stuff them out with the sword. Goes for the counter at ledge, but that's a nice parry, but they read a roll or something, and that's going to be kind of unfortunate. Cross just slips right behind. Cross
actually had no Elwins there for a bit. So that, if you saw, Cross went for the Elwind, that up B, and it did not come out, which means that the Elwind actually ran out. And that's always scary if you don't have your up B available to you, especially with a character like Sephiroth who has such a huge range that if they can manage to just get you off stage and you don't have an up B, well, you're sort of just out of luck.
Yeah, you were able to see that lack of luck right there. Yeah, a little bit of a disconnect, by the way. Unfortunate. It happens. Doesn't happen too much in EGF, but hey, when it does, we have to deal with it. So we'll be getting back into the game very soon, but we'll be here to fill the time for the time being as we try and figure out what's exactly going on.
Yeah, it's interesting too, because EGF and the streamer are based in New York, and Manhattan obviously in New York, and Fairfield is in Connecticut, so it's all pretty close by. Pretty good proximity to each other. So I'm interested to see why the disconnect happened, or on what side it was from, or if it was just Nintendo, because sometimes that just happens.
Either way, though, while we figure this out, I think we are going to go to a very brief break just to make sure we have things all settled to finish up this match. So don't go anywhere. EGFC will be back in just a couple of minutes.
All right, see you soon. All right.
We're right back.
Welcome back, everyone. During that disconnect, it seems like it was a caster side of the stream, like the stream switch was the one that was having the issue. And because of that, we actually did get to have the game complete, and Cross actually won that one with a 2-stock. So that means 2 more points for Manhattan College, and that's pretty good.
Yeah, we were saying Nightfall might be their last chance to bring this back here in the 4th round, and it's starting to look like an insurmountable lead. You would either need to bring it back all the way, if you win this, if Nightfall is able to bring this back, then it's looking a lot more winnable. But the fact that it was a 2-stock from Cross, they almost 0 to death them right off the bat, that's a tempo that it's really hard to slow down, as they're already looking to get back into the game soon.
Okay, so it'll be interesting to see how, because we didn't get to see that much of the gameplay, but we did see a few things. But it should be interesting to see how Nightfall tries to adjust to the game plan of Cross, because we did see Cross was sort of dominating in that previous game. If you're able to land a Nosferatu, that just means that you sort of have a good understanding of how your opponent moves, how they play neutral, all of that. If you can, because it's such a small command grab that has such a high reward. So, I think that means that Nightfall probably has to mix up, what they're doing in neutral and also how they're moving, because you really have to make sure that how you're moving is not too predictable, because that means that you're sort of just going to run into your opponent's stuff.
Yeah, speaking of predictable, Fairfield, they just love PS2, and I can't blame them. They've been going back to it all day, all night. Besides that one counter pick to Smashville, or Town and City rather, but yeah, here we go. Back onto PS2 in a moment, where you're gonna try and I feel like it really did feel like Nightfall couldn't get out of center stage. Like, what do you even do there?
Yeah, it's really difficult. Also we saw that Nightfall was sort of just having a rough time, because center stage is generally a pretty safe place to be, but unfortunately, it's not necessarily going to get you that many neutral wins. Or it will get you neutral wins, but it won't win you stocks, because you kind of have to be out of that center stage in order to take a stock, especially when you want to edge guard. So, like, while Sephiroth does have very good long-range options, you can't really do much from the center. You have to sort of push that edge, push your opponent sort of off the stage, generally just over time, and, you know, command space with those huge hitboxes. And you're not really commanding too much space if you're not really chasing your opponent.
It's just going to be a very clean run back right here. Nightfall rather. Immediately taking space with that flare, and you got the shadow flare on you. That's going to be an opening in a second. Like you said, that assist going to come in, make this landing a lot harder for Cross, using the shield to space around it. But yeah, the constant pressure from the Levin sword.
Ooh, and that was so smart going for that get up attack there. Seeing that, oh, okay. Nightfall is playing a lot more aggressively this time. Sort of go for a get off me tool, and whoa! Whoa, 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 whoa. What was that?
That's brutal. That's what that was. The up B is going to give you a little bit of percent as you get back on, but right now, Nightfall, they're just going to try and play this lead, and landing the Shadow Flare, that's a great way to start out. Ooh.
Ooh.
Beautiful shield pressure, and they're able to get the confirm right there to the arc fire.
That's sort of the disadvantage of, well, trying to play center stage against Robin, because Robin can sort of just kill at any time with a well-placed arc fire. And you can't really do as much on center stage with Sephiroth, but I mean, we're seeing a lot better gameplay from Nightfall this time, you know, going for those chases, you know, trying not to let Cross be too comfortable, which is important because Cross's options all have a meter on them, so that means that in general, if your opponent wants to actually get anything go, oh, whoa.
Hard call out. I mean, whenever you see a mistake, you've got to punish it hard like that. The wacko right there.
And it looked like Cross had the right idea too, but just didn't pull the trigger quite fast enough. But, oh man. 2 arc fires in a row, just saying, oh, you're not trying to get out of this one. I'm just going to throw another one, just threaten that shield a little bit more. Not quite getting the spike box, but, you know, sometimes it happens.
Yeah.
Even stocks again. It's only been 2 minutes.
And Cross, it feels like they're starting to heat up, but they've got to watch out for that Shadow Flare as well. Ooh, Thunder. A little bit of pressure right there. Tino's committing to an up B on stage, and it actually does pay off, giving them control. Tries to approach with that down tilt, but now, ooh, landing. This is getting really dicey right now. It feels like any mistake could be punished with a huge follow-up.
And as the Levin sword is out, this means that Nightfall can afford to go a lot more aggressively because you don't have to worry about getting hit. Oh, but Levin sword's back. And that's sort of like when you see the Levin sword's gone, you go, okay, this is my opportunity to really push because a lot of their punish game will be a lot worse now.
Yeah, it certainly will. As Cross, they're okay to just play at this corner, but playing at the corner against Sephiroth, hold on, wait, something doesn't seem quite right here as they roll right through that Giga Flare. Now, you gotta watch out, that forward smash not gonna connect.
Oh my. We're just throwing out these thunders right now, and oh, the Nosferatu is so perfect here because not only does that help heal a little bit, making it a little harder for Nightfall to kill, but it also really just, you know, gets in Nightfall's head a little bit at the last hour. You know, this helps so much, and this is even right now, perfectly even percents, just by 0.1, and
yeah,
this is scary.
Cross slowing the pace of the game down here has been perfect. They've made it. They're inside Nightfall's head. Nightfall, after that early stock, they were able to hold that lead, but now it's looking a little more difficult. But oh, did they not have the book on them? It doesn't look like they did. And because of that, Nightfall is going to give their team a chance to stay in this yet.
And that means that this is actually like, so some points, which is very important. As long as Nightfall can win this next game, even by 1 stock, then that means that it'll be, you know, doable for Fairfield. Because if Fairfield loses this next game, like the entire team is on Nightfall's back right now. Because if Fairfield loses this game, then it is impossible for Fairfield to win this entire match. Because right now it's a 6-point differential. It's 10-16. And winning just the next game would make it a 9-point differential, and the most you can get in a set is 8 points. So it becomes impossible to even tie it up.
Yeah, so Nightfall, the team is on their back right now. Cross, after almost clutching that out, got to be biting themselves, but they already showed their strong mental. And oh, is it that they committed the arc fire right there off stage? I think they actually just misinputted.
Yeah, that looked like a misinput to me.
Yeah.
Just going for an arc fire where an up B would have been perfect. Yeah. Yeah. That definitely looks like a misinput.
Yeah, it's Nightfall. Well, they're gonna be happy for that one. You gotta take those. You've gotta take those, especially when suddenly Fairfield. It looked like in the team comms, it was like, okay, let's wrap it up. They're wrapping up their controllers. They're done, and then they saw that, and now you've got to think that maybe Fairfield's like, hold on, let me do the math. They're doing the math you just did right there. They're like, we could totally do this.
Yeah. This is completely doable as long as Nightfall can win this. If Nightfall can win this, then it actually becomes a matter of whoever wins this last set versus if Manhattan wins this. So if Cross wins this, it becomes impossible. So this is the real most important set right now.
It certainly is. As you can see, Cross is actually declining to just run it back to PS2. I called that out earlier. That was like, oh, we just want to run it back. No, they're actually counterpicking. We're going to Battlefield, and I feel like that is definitely because Cross loves those arc fire ladders.
Yes, I mean, arc fire ladders are always super scary against Robin. Oh, but not quite landing it. Didn't quite have the right spacing, which is unfortunate. But, I mean, still, you got a decent damage lead right now. Keep it going.
Throw the book at you. Get yourself a little opening. Cross is keeping the pace of this game slow underneath these smaller platforms. Ooh.
That was sort of just Cross not doing anything. Ooh.
Like a deer in the headlights right there, but now a little bit of deer headlights. You can't get through it. The roll does not go far enough. Look how far back Nightfall spaced that.
Yeah, you gotta really just time it perfectly on your roll if you want to roll out of it, and that's really tough. Oh,
really tough
but
indeed is. Oh, a hard call out on that spot dodge.
Yeah, don't need to do any or don't need to worry that much when you can actually just bring it to even so quickly, because sometimes you forget, Sephiroth is really light. Sephiroth is the same weight as Pikachu.
Oof. Yeah, much easier to get these ladders on as well, as that item dropping is going to give you just a tiny bit of a chance to lead.
And I'm really liking these far away shadow flares just to sort of intercept the thunders, because thunder is a lot higher commitment than a shadow flare. So it's very smart to go for that, because they can only thunder so many times. You can shadow flare as many times as you want in a row.
Yeah, you paid for that move. You might as well use it.
That's very true. $5.99 right there.
Yeah. Able to get that flare, and now at ledge. They've been loving this down tilt ledge trapping, but a good mix-up with just running up and grabbing. You've conditioned them to want to shield every time.
That's fantastic. Yeah, love that you mentioned that. The fantastic conditioning that Nightfall's been doing, but Cross is also just doing a fantastic job of, because Robin is heavier than Sephiroth, so you can afford to take a few more hits. And that's big. If you can afford to take more hits, you can afford to make more mistakes, and that just lightens up the load that is on your mental for the entire set. Ooh.
Yeah, playing this game of just jumping over the projectiles over and over again, which Nightfall was coming out on the edge on. The Nosferatu gets you maybe a little bit farther away from kill percent. Shadow Flare on you, though. This is Nightfall's go time. But how are you going to go when you're caught in the arc fire?
Oh, my. And that was... So, another thing here, it's sort of looking like a little bit of a repeat of the problems Nightfall was having in that first game, where Nightfall was playing too safe. There were some very good opportunities for a kill for Nightfall that just weren't being capitalized on, especially in this game too. We saw, and that's sort of what makes the difference between whoever wins and loses, like who's willing to take those risks.
Who indeed, especially as you've now got the Shadow Flare on you at ledge. Oh, that's kind of a scary situation, but now you pressure them once again with that no shield at all. You know you can go in, catch that high recovery right inside the drop zone. That's just an invitation from across to slash you out of the air, and that will Manhattan, I believe, taking it all the way home.
Yes, that is Manhattan taking it all the way home, and that means that it is now impossible for Fairfield to win this, but you still want to play it out just for those points, because in this league, those points are so important at the end of the season.
Certainly are. Yeah, some honestly really nice adaptations from Nightfall. It felt like they had the lead for so long, but they didn't know how to deal with the constant shield pressure. The shield pressure from Cross, I feel like, was the real innovation in the last half of this. They cleaned up their ability to just make Nightfall feel unsafe no matter where they were.
For sure, and I think that's a fantastic mention of making them feel unsafe, because Nightfall felt unsafe, they were less willing to take those risks, and when you don't take those risks, you don't kill nearly as often. And we saw that. We saw so many missed opportunities because they were afraid of just so many things that Cross could do and not what Cross was doing.
Yeah. I mean, as someone said, the only thing you got to be afraid of is fear itself and Levin's sword, because
Yep.
I mean, that forward smash on shield, that just completely takes away your defense for a good 10 seconds. Like, every single time it happened, they just jumped backwards away. And I think that's why they got that really hard read on the recovery, because every time they pressured the shield, they went, okay, I don't want to deal with this at all. They went out of there, and they went to the same place every time, just a little short hop back.
Yep, and sort of just winning thanks to Pavlov right there, all that conditioning. Just going, okay, I'm going to keep making you do that, and I'm going to put you in a position where when you do your natural response to my option, it actually puts you in a position where I win.
Yeah, that's always very impressive, as now we're going to get something very special. Manhattan College, I mean, this is not them sandbagging, don't get them wrong, but with the win in mind, they are going to be sending in Kivo, a character who has not, or a player rather, who hasn't played at all yet, which is always fun to see here on EGF.
Ooh, okay, that's always fun to see. Yeah, you know, getting to see a player make their debut in this league is always a treat.
Yeah, it looks like we are just gonna gentleman to PS2 right here, Kivo. I mean, playing it safe, playing it comfortable, and hey, this is a big opportunity for them to get this experience. And I'm not saying this as if they're gonna lose. They're going up against a casual. How are you feeling about this?
I don't think I've ever actually seen a casual play.
Now, I want to say Game & Watch, but I always mix up a casual and a fly, and I can't be certain. So,
I think it is a fly you're thinking of.
Yeah. Yeah, it's Kevo, rather. Kevo is going to be coming in. Sorry, Evo fresh on the mind right now. Yeah, we're probably just going to get a button check going as soon as we can. But either way, not a lot of information on these people. However, this is a good opportunity to get these jitters out of the way, especially if a casual puts up a challenge, because the first time you're like you think you're good, you're playing against friendlies, but the first time you're on stream against someone who's even equal skill against you, that's when you feel those like jitters for the first time. At least most people. That's what happened to me anyways. Like, I'm doing fine, I'm running through this bracket, I'm like, dude, I'm so practiced at this, I'm so good, and I meet someone who's like as good as me for the first time. I could probably beat him, and all of a sudden I'm like dropping my controller. I'm like,
yeah, I mean, just having someone watch you is always just nerves. It's just such a fantastic opportunity for you to just mess everything up, you know, drop that opportunity. Eminem would be so disappointed.
Yeah, a great opportunity to fail, or maybe soar way beyond the expectations. I mean, we don't know anything about Kevo. For all we know, Kevo's gonna come in and just demolish and be like, you haven't been putting me on stream. Let me give you reason to.
We've seen that before. We've seen that before. Like PokeBlue, first time they showed up on stream, just demolished. Because
PokeBlue just dropping out of the blue right here. I mean, what else can you say?
Yeah, for sure. And that's always like interesting to see. You know, sometimes it's not a player that's not experienced. Sometimes it's one of those hidden killers, or maybe someone that it's not even like they're being hidden. It's just that they haven't had the free time until that week.
Yeah, it's very true. It is a big time commitment to be a part of the EGF. So good to see Kevo finally getting a chance, finding some time in their schedule, a block where they can actually strut their stuff here. But yeah, and just talking about that, there have been a couple players who have come in on the spring split that have just been on a tear recently. You brought up PokeBlue, which I feel like is the biggest name to just drop in out of nowhere, like who didn't have time and now they do, and it is deadly. Taking out Yosufu, but there have been also some other just strong contenders like Mikkel Rising for I actually can't remember, but they have been very consistent as the starter again and again coming in the spring split, but it sounds like we're finally getting in game now.
Ooh, and okay, so it seems like Kevo is a Shulk player, which is very interesting here. So Shulk, definitely one of those technical characters. It's going to be interesting to see how Kevo can take advantage of these Monado arts, because they're a huge part of this character's kit and really show like the good players versus the great players.
Yes, they're just playing this spacing game. In a beautiful world, in a perfect world, you would be never getting caught by those Gordos, but it's not the same privilege as Razor Leaf affords, you know. Instead, A casual, wouldn't be called out. Ooh, some nice juggles right now from Kevo to start out.
And this is already a pretty good lead, especially considering that most of the damage that Kevo took was from being in Buster Art. So, you know, that's a lot of just extra damage. So this is definitely a solid opportunity to, you know, show off his stuff. You know, show, okay, this is what he's made of.
Yeah, but that extra damage, I mean, even so, does still count unless you put on your safety button. Then you're able to get out of that juggle situation, get the reversal, get DDD off stage, but coming off ledge, A casual is still going to be deadly. Ooh, tries to space around that inhale, but maybe not used to the input right there, as shield grab not going to connect, not getting the turnaround there.
And oh my, so I love that you mentioned that shield art, because I mean it's just a huge part of why this character is so good. You know, you can just you can do it during hit stun, so in the middle of getting hit or getting comboed, you could do it and just get out of a combo and then just say, okay, your combo, now that's mine, just give me that right now. And I mean, that's sort of like what was happening earlier in this game, and now Kevo has this lead. Seems like he's just sort of trying to get away, doesn't want to give A casual too many opportunities to get anything going.
As A casual also, ooh, there you said, like you said, in hit stun, able to swap to the shield art, and now you're able to get a punish. The Gordo will eventually finish you off, but you were still able to get an extra hit in there. Those chips count.
An extra hit, more like an extra like 50%, because they live to over 180 there. That's definitely getting your value.
Yeah, it certainly is. Well, yeah, they're not going to go for the forward air this time. A casual wise enough to go low, as the forward air at ledge with smash art that almost killed right there, and going for the edge guard right there. You've got to be careful, but going on to stage, oh, you know that spear's going to reach.
And this is big right now for Kevo, because now that you're in Buster Art, everything's going to be dealing a lot more damage, including what hits you. So last time we saw the Buster Art come out that really had any significance, it was Kevo actually taking a lot of that damage. But this time it seems like, you know, he's afforded to get some damage of his own going. Oh.
Nice so far. They're caught up by the Gordos. This speed art, it feels like they're not really used to controlling this momentum as well, not used to controlling it when A casual is throwing up their wall. As they're in onto the Buster now. They want to set themselves up on maybe this final stock to get a clean kill.
Absolutely, and I mean, so already 60%. So this is definitely close to Smash Art percent, Smash Art just being able to kill with pretty much anything. Oh, but I mean, some rage is also getting on the board here, which is also something to consider, because the moment you get some good rage going, everything is just, I mean, it's why people don't like that mechanic very much. You sort of could just cheese out a stock, especially when you have this stock lead. Oh.
Certainly is Smash Art going for this approach, but a nice positioning with that inhale going under the ledge where Shulk really can't touch you that much. Forward smash not going to be punished either.
Oh. And
Shield landing right there.
interesting that they actually went for. Oh, wow! Outlasting, like that wind up took longer than the actual counter, and that was like a completely fresh one too. Normally foresight, or not foresight, future sight, whatever the counter for Shulk is called, lasts a very long time. Oh, what?
Yeah, that forward air is just gonna slap you right on out of there. I confused A casual and A fly for a second, but they're looking a little like A fly the way they're getting swatted right there.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, that was definitely a strong showing for Kevo. His first game in this league, and I mean, I'd want that to be my first game in the league for sure.
Yeah, not a bad way to start it out at all, but A casual still definitely ways to bring this back. They were getting in their head a little bit, and even though Levo was able to get a little bit of an opening at times, calling out higher recoveries, now that A casual is going lower, they're not really getting the same edge guards they were before.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, but now that, so it looks like A casual sort of just been staying at that ledge this entire time, you know, and that's kind of difficult against Shulk, who has such a big sword. So it'll be interesting to see how A casual can manage to actually play around it, especially because, I mean, now they've got that advantage state going.
Ooh, using the hitbox right there to smack the Gordo back as well. Ooh, nice dash attack extension. A casual keeps going for that inhale off ledge, knowing it can just stuff Shulk out.
I feel like Kevo used the shield art a little bit prematurely there. They didn't take a single hit.
Yeah, and they only took away from their own damage as well, but hey, now here's a chance to rebuild it. Ooh,
what?
Spot dodge through that? Ooh,
wow.
Perfect buffering right there as they're able to avoid that timing. A casual now trying to land. Oh, that smash art, that would have killed.
Ah, but that will kill too, because smash art makes you take more knockback too.
Yeah, high risk, high reward right here, and it's A casual reaping the rewards thus far. Now you gotta find a way to get that kill, avoiding the dash attack, but smash art runs out right as you get a dash attack of your own.
This is where it's going to be tough for Kevo here, because they're using the shield art now a little too prematurely. You know, they're using it in situations you honestly don't need it in. Oh,
ooh, you might need it here though, but that's a nice high jump right there with the jump art to get away from that. You don't want to mess with that at all. I've seen many a player fall to that as the spin to win is going to clean up that first stock from A casual, and yet he stole the lead.
Kevo is scared. We saw right there after shielding that forward smash, just rolling away. That was definitely not a punish at all. Look at that, just getting away, just feeling panicked. That's definitely a sign of someone who has not played in this league before, you know?
Yeah, but still, they're learning fast, but maybe not fast enough. A casual taking them to school. Here's the opportunity to rack up some damage, but they don't get much more than that, though. 42% ain't bad. They catch up with the down air, too. That's a full combo right there for 3 hits worth.
Oh, and this is going to be really difficult for Kevo here, because while A casual has this like lead here, they can afford to get some extra credit and hopefully some rage as well, because if they can get that rage on top of that extra damage, it just makes it such an uphill battle.
Yeah, ooh, you're able to counter hit because you have shield art online, so maybe that preemptive use wasn't that bad this time. The up B had a shield, another good option. Goes to smash art, but they don't have it. But now you're in an offstage situation. Jump arch is gonna get you right on back, but the shield is just gone. And the rocket hammer setting you up for a grand slam. All the way up the side of the screen, A casual with 2 more points for Fairfield University for those point differentials in the end. And oh, that's hard to see.
Yeah, that was after having such a fantastic showing in that first game. A casual saw that Kevo is just afraid now, and that's really bad. Especially because that's sort of what these heavy characters want. They want you to feel that fear, and especially DDD has 2 emotions that they want to put into the opponent. They want to put fear and they want to put frustration. And it seems like both of those emotions are in Kevo right now. because so there was little signs of that fear off of in that first game off of like going for the shield art a little too early, but then in that second game, instead of going for a punish, just trying to get away as fast as possible, definitely showed like a weakness that Casual was able to capitalize on so well.
Very nice indeed. As they get that landing back air. Kevo trying to just stuff out DDD as fast as they can with the speed art. But instead, you go to the Buster again. These low percents, they love it. They've gotten reward off it before, but one Gordo and you're taking a ton. But some nice strings right there. 52%.
And this is definitely a game where Kevo needs to make some huge adjustments. You know, get a bit more bold. Oh.
Yeah. Can you get brave and bold? Hey, Casual. Trying to demonstrate why you should never be brave against this Penguin, but that is a great anti-tool. Like I said earlier, and the Smash Art finishes them off as well. But Shulk with his mighty hitboxes, theoretically, is never going to get hit by Gordos.
This was actually a perfect adjustment here. We're seeing Kevo is so much more confident in this game. You know, it took a bit of a time to actually like refresh mentally, you know, go, okay, I shouldn't be afraid. I need to just advance. I need to take these stocks. I need to take every chance I could get because this is a heavy character. Every single chance you can take to kill, you need because you might not get that chance again.
And you might not as the Buster. That's going to be finishing you off now, a Casual. Evens up the stocks. Buster at early percent. That one back air does 40%, but you eat a Gordo. Now you're going to be eating the combo. And they keep it on. They want to get this going.
And so they had the right idea there. They just mistimed it a little bit, which is a good sign, though. If you're getting the right answer at the wrong time... okay. It looks like... So... no.
Makes it look like you're trying to cover a roll and then turns right back around to snatch you as you go for that neutral get up. Now you're stuck with trying to build up the percents on DDD, but you get grabbed while you have Buster online. At least they get the roll away right there, but it's still not enough to truly reverse this situation.
And this is really risky here, going for that smash art, but that might be exactly what Kevo needs.
Yeah, but they're not able to really, get much off of it. Forward air, good spacing tool, nothing DD can do against that, but hey, they got a forward air of your own that you're not really able to punish.
And, okay, smash art out again. Needs to get something going, but, we saw... Whoa! That was a really good punish. Wow.
Yeah, scooping you right up right there. And now with Speed Art Online, they're weaving right through the Royal defenses. Air dodge through, puts DDD back in center stage, but now the speed is gone. They're onto their Buster. High risk, high reward. It's been the playstyle Kevo's been electing for.
And this is definitely much more along the lines of what Kevo wants. Starting to make a bit of a comeback here, which is really big, especially at the tail end, that home stretch of this game. This is the home stretch of the entire match, so definitely wants to give a good first impression for the league. Wow!
Forward smash right there, 59%. Kevo, an opportunity right here, but they eat a Gordo, using the sheet art to land again. That was their X factor in game one, if you remember. Tries to cover that neutral get up with a forward smash. That's just a great stuffing out tool. They looked to shield for a second, or smash, but they didn't want to go quite all or nothing yet.
This is really tight for both of these players right now because they both know it's very risky if either of them commits too much.
Percents right now, but DDD maybe a little easier time killing. Shield art coming out for the approach. You're not going to go anywhere with that shield art online though, just air dodging right on through that forward smash right there. Jab on shield, not going to be punished either.
And this is really close right now. Both of them need to get something going. But they both know that just a single tap will kill for both of them if it's a little too close to ledge.
right, now.
I feel like
trying to space these quarters.
an upbeat out of shield from Kevo might be able to kill if it hits.
Yeah, that was their X factor before, but ooh, that Gordo being reflected is not enough. It's a scramble situation. Kevo seems to have figured it out, but they're not able to get the shielder out in time. You saw the menu flash up there. We'll see it in the replay in a moment. They tried so hard to get themselves wiggle on out of that up air, but they weren't able to get it in the end.
And yeah, we saw literally just the shield art right there. We saw it so close. But unfortunately for Kevo, they couldn't get it out in time. But fortunately for, a casual, they get more points for Fairfield, which is important because that now means that it is 15 points for Fairfield and 20 points for Manhattan. A pretty close match, though.
Yeah, pretty close indeed. In the end, though, A Casual's showing that they are still, they're the veteran on the block. They're not going to let you get away with anything too crazy on your first time on stream. Kevo, there was a nice showing. I expect they're going to be an asset for Manhattan College for a long time coming.
For sure. That definitely was a solid first time, but, they definitely have a lot more opportunities in the future.
Yeah, and now we're going to get to ask them, Manhattan, a little bit more about that. We're going to get Sam in for an interview, so don't go anywhere. EGFC will be back for an interview in just a couple of minutes.
All right, so see you soon.
Welcome back, everybody. We are here with an interview with Sam, the explosive Falcon player we saw very early on in that. Sam, how you feeling after that win?
Yeah, I think we're all feeling great after that win. Definitely good stuff from everyone all around.
And do you guys have any, just as the first question, do you have any, a game plan before every match? I know someone who is a friend of someone who at least was on your team. I don't remember if they're still on the team anymore, but do you have any ways that you practice for specific matchups?
Yeah.
You go stuff like that?
Yeah, definitely. We've been doing this thing recently where we'll just, I'm sure most teams do it, but we'll just go back, we'll watch old VODs, we'll check out, who's usually on the roster, how they play, and then we'll figure it out from there. So, for example, today we saw Jerry, the Terry player. He was traditionally very strong. So we watched the old VODs, we saw how he played, and from that, we figured it out. We figured out how to beat him. Shout outs to Marty, the old captain. for the Manhattan College team. He played Terry quite a bit, so he showed us how to play around a lot of the stuff that Jerry did. Very helpful stuff.
Yeah, that's very nice. Getting that, real in-depth practice. And
Yeah.
do you think, Manhattan, you kind of had a rough start, but you're looking
Definitely.
a lot more explosive in the second split. So do you think, have you just had more time to get those, improvement sessions going? What do you think the X factor is?
Yeah, I think, as sad as it is to say, once everybody starts really caring about winning and has the drive to win, you start seeing results. We started practicing more. We're doing VOD reviews. Shout out to the Westchester Smash community. They're helping us with VOD reviews a lot. So I think from that, the culmination of all the stuff we're doing is showing results. So that's fun. Yeah.
Nice. And is there anyone, or is there any team that you're really ready for, that you're really excited about? Is there any one team that you're like, I'm raring to go against them, or someone you're scared to go against?
I think if I had to go with the Manhattan College answer, I would say Iona. Traditionally, they're our rival school, so it will be fun to play them. They're definitely always fun to play against, and I think beating them is always something that's funny. Other than that, Marist maybe. They're good, and if we could possibly beat them, that would be hype. That'd be a fun thing to experience.
Yeah, a lot to aspire to right there. Marist kind of on a hot streak. And
Kinda.
Iona, I think you've definitely got a shot there, and I wish you the best of luck with that. But for now, congrats again, and thank you for doing this interview,
Thank
Sam.
you guys. Thank you guys.
All right, and with that, we are going to be wrapping up. We're going to go to a quick break. When we return, it'll be UConn taking on Mississippi State. So I've been Keel Miles, the Spin PBE. We will see you in just a couple of minutes.
See you soon.